Hello, hello. Welcome again to the Danger Head podcast with your hosts, Duncan and Gerard.
Hello.
And we're going to keep it short and simple, right? I said swimple. That's crazy. Short and simple, right? Today we're talking conspiracies, right? We're talking, Illuminati. We're talking certain murders, JFK, 9/11. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking craziness right now, right? All right. So, basically we're gonna dive a little bit into each conspiracy and then go from there. All right.
Okay.
So, Jared, if you want to, you could start us off. Get something
Okay.
spicy going.
All right. So something spicy, huh? So my first theory, conspiracy theory that's always interesting to me is that we live in a simulation. The only real person, quote unquote, is you. All your friends, your family, the entire world around you is a part of some super advanced computer program. And someone, we don't know who, it could be other humans, it could be aliens, are watching and controlling our lives. Like if you're like a 90s baby, like we are, a popular movie came out called The Matrix, which really ignited that theory. And also, like, sadly, some people apparently actually themselves, because of seeing The Matrix, and they thought real life was fake. Don't do that. Okay, it's just a conspiracy theory, but it is an interesting theory because first question, why? Why would you put a random person in an entire simulated world? Is it to see how they would react? To see what kind of person they are? Is it for shits and giggles? We don't know. But it is something rather interesting to think about. Because if you go the Matrix route, right, the machines put humans into the Matrix just so they could use us as batteries, more or less. And it was just to keep us docile and occupied while they use you until they don't need you anymore. Versus the scientific side would just be maybe they're just studying people's minds. Maybe they're spitballing ideas about a problem they have.
Actually,
But,
actually, I as a kid, I kind of wondered this myself, right?
Right.
When you don't see a person, are they living their life or not? Or are they on pause?
I like,
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, okay, like clearly I'm talking to you, Jared, right?
Right.
Okay. Once we leave the podcast and you're not texting me, as a kid in my mind, it was like, okay, Jared doesn't exist anymore until he shows himself again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and you can't prove it because anything that comes to you is supposed to come to you anyway.
Right.
You cannot see people when they're not seen, I would say. So it's like are you yourself in a simulator? It doesn't have to be society. It could be you yourself. Like, and it's scary because you cannot prove it because you're in the simulator.
Right.
Right? This isn't like Morpheus coming from outside the simulator and be like, yeah, you in the simulator. First of all, if people doing that, they normally like trying to give you some, you know what I'm saying? They try to give you some hoo-ha. But in general, it's like nothing can disprove that. Because senses, all your senses link to it. So you can't do that whole pinch. By the way, that whole pinch thing, when they, with the dreams,
pinch
like pinches, that shit don't work.
No, it doesn't.
That shit don't work. I'll be trying to pinch myself in dreams. I'll be like, ow, what the fuck? Like, that's a lie. I'm just saying, but nah, that's a good one.
But actually, to like sort of expand on that, one, as we pointed out, if this is a simulation, the only way you'll be able to get out of it is if someone controlling it wakes you up, or like in the Matrix, someone who figured it out also wakes you up. And number two, the other side of that is you're not real either. You're part of the program itself. There was I forget what it was, a short story I read. It was like years ago. But what happened was the guy was he was a NASA scientist, and they found out they called it an anomaly in space that was heading for Earth. So basically, how they knew something was wrong was they said the stars in a certain sector were disappearing. And based on its trajectory, it was coming closer to Earth. And the closer it got, the more stars got blocked out. So they're like, okay, well, maybe it's a black hole or something. And like they're running all these simulations, they're trying all this data, and follows this guy's like life, like how he's panicking. Society, of course, starts to break down because like the world's gonna end. And like right as like the anomaly is reaching Earth, right? This dude like literally teleports in beside him and he's like, this is really interesting. And he's like, who the hell are you? And the guy's like just starts talking about how like society, how they're reacting, everything, and he's just spitballing ideas. And he's like, ignore the guy until finally the guy's like, oh, don't worry about it, you're not even real. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's, oh, this is just a simulation. We just wanted to see how things are going. And he's like, his mind is like, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean I'm not? He's like, oh, we programmed you. And like, he literally like tells the guy everything about himself. Like, he's like, how it designed them, what they wanted him to do, his job. And he's like, what? And he's like, all right, man. Well, he's like, all right, this was really interesting. And I see that he teleports out and then like the world ends and that's it. But he was never real in the first place, which is insane. Imagine that someone just teleports beside you, right? They know everything about you. Oh, by the way, you're not real. Talking about just like breaking down someone's whole reality is.
I mean, honestly, that's it. So first of all, the human brain can't even fathom that. Right? Like, let's get that out the way, because the thing about that is like, if I'm not real, right, but you gave me consciousness, right, that means I feel like I'm making my own choice and everything. Then what happens if I'm gone? Right. This kind of stems into the whole concept of death kind of thing, where it's like, does your consciousness go somewhere? Does it just no longer exist? And then some people try to say it like, well, picture it like before you was born. And it's like, you can't, because your timeline started the day you was born.
Right.
So you can't picture anything prior to that. So it's like the same thing with blind people. They're like, what's it like being blind? Do you see black? And it's like, no, I see nothing.
Which is crazy.
Right? I see nothing. And they're like, what does that mean? And it's like, okay, try to look through your elbows, or try to look at like through the back of your head behind you. And it's like, I can't. And he's like, exactly. But it's like, I can't fathom that though. Because I see here and I can do this. Right? I can do that. But if somebody said you can't see the back of your head, it's like, okay, now what if I'm looking forward and I still can't see? Does it become that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't fathom nothing, because the human mind was not meant to fathom nothing. We've always had something. Right. From the time we were an idea to now, something. Right? Even when people be like, oh, they're brain dead. No, they're not, because they're brain dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still something. Oh man. But no, that one is something you can never prove.
Right.
That's what makes it scary. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right, I got you, man. Ready? So I have the dead internet theory. Right? So to sum it up, it's like basically at some point AI has gone to the point where it can mimic us, right? Okay. It goes to your profile. It can, everything you've ever inputted in life, right? It knows about it. So the theory is that sometimes when you're online and you're commenting on these people's posts and people are commenting back on you, and you cannot basically have evidence that those are real people. The theory is that those are AI, and they're made to get the clicks and the interactions and the impressions and everything like that. They're made to do that. So when you find yourself arguing with people online, it could be an AI.
That's there are bots.
Yeah.
They don't exist now. So
if you ask ChatGPT, name something that will make me mad right now, it will have a full-blown explanation for you. Right? Now picture that. Picture ChatGPT, but instead of like just what like knowledge off the Google, right? Now picture it as it paid attention to you specifically in all of your life events and choices and all that stuff that you posted online.
Right.
Now it could be something like, oh, like mind-wise, I noticed that this person gets angry if you mention Ratatouille or something like that. Right? So now it's going to try to put you in a conversation. And if it's made to make you mad, it's going to end up developing into talking about Ratatouille. And you don't know it. You don't know where the conversation is going, but it does, because it knows every little thing about you and how it can get you to say certain things and not certain things. Because humans are creatures of patterns, right? So, and there's nothing that knows that more than computers. So I'm just saying, like, when you go online and you're arguing with people and you see some people that are just dumb, like, it's like you're thinking to yourself, there's no way There's no way this is a real person. You're probably right. You're probably right. That person that you see commenting under a grandma's picture talking about, dang, mama, what them no teeth do. That's probably an AI. It's probably, you think it's probably some ignorant, you know what I mean? But no, it's an AI. It could be an AI. Knowing that the person's gonna have to reply to what the no teeth do, and it knows that, oh snap, this is a viral moment. So now it got all the clicks and views, and you're mad. So it did its job, and then it will disappear. It will be like, oh, not commenting no more. Gone. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of scary because then it comes down to like, are we truly interacting with other humans or not?
True. Fair enough. But I mean, it's also, I mean, I don't know how much is required. So like when I say, so like ChatGPT, right? It is more or less AI, right? It's pretty intelligent, but it uses the information it has. I don't know what's required for ChatGPT to run, right? So like, for instance, how many servers is this thing actually running off of because of how sophisticated it is? So if you wanted to go that and where they're like that, that's a lot of resources required. If like all chatbots are like that, that'd be insane. But on the other hand, we do have, I mean, there's chatbots now. They're on Twitter, they're on TikTok and stuff. But like, you start to tell when you start talking to them because like they're not, you know what I mean? There's not really logical. There's no flow to what they're saying. So you're like, all right, something's kind of off about this. So at best, they're like kind of low quality bots that kind of just stir up trouble or just kind of throw out muck into ethos and try and cause problems. But if we're really thinking about it, what's also fun about the conspiracy is it's always why. What's the point? What does someone gain, right? So let's say like all those are ChatGPT bots. What does that do? Like you have, I mean, obviously you have like misinformation, right? To spread crap. Sometimes it's to manipulate people, lie about stuff, or cover shit up. But then it's once again, who would be in charge of this? Who's funding them? Who's doing what? It's always the who and the why when it comes to controlling all of it.
So because now it's like, okay, who is it? Meta? Is it Apple? Is it Google? Is it a random third party company from Greenland? We don't know because one, not that many people are smart, and then two, the hackers get paid to do this stuff.
Right?
You gotta remember that. For y'all who don't know, the hackers that go into PSN and Microsoft and your computer and everything like that. Unless it's like those click ones where it's like, oh, click this link to save this print of $1,000. No, those aren't hackers. Okay, they are just no. It's the ones that like you suddenly found out your bank account got hacked.
Right.
You didn't put nothing online. They just knew. They just like gotcha. Right. Those ones are paid by these same companies to hack them. Yeah, I remember that. I'll give you an example. If I think it was a guy who hacked, I think it was Apple. It was Apple or Microsoft. It was one of those two. And basically, Microsoft was like, "Hey, we just got this new code in security. I'll give you $10,000 to hack it. And if you do hack it, I'll give you $50,000. If you can't hack it, it's just a 10, right? Next thing you hear is, oh, they got hacked. Yes, that's what they were supposed to do, right? They give it to the they send it to the, of course, like, you know, the news, like, oh, they got hacked and all this information was leaked and and it's like, you're telling us this, but we know that you paid them to do it, right? Because the one thing about it's like honor among thieves kind of thing,
right?
If a hacker hack proofs it, you're not gonna have another hacker trying to get into that unless that other hacker tells the company, "Hey, this hacker that you hired, I'm better than them, and I can show you why." You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. When you see networks get hacked, 9 times out of 10 they told them to hack them. I'm just letting you know.
I mean, also at this point, everyone's information is out there. There's been so many breaches since we started growing up that there's no way they don't have everyone's information at this point. So it's like every time there's a leak, I'm like, I mean, nothing's new. I'm not like some billionaire where you're gonna get a bunch of money. So it's like you look at your stuff, you check your bank account and stuff, but it's like other than that, I'm like, y'all been having my information because Meta also just sells your information anyway. So even if they don't get hacked, your stuff's out there regardless.
Okay. What you got? What you got for us? What else?
Okay. This is one of my personal favorite conspiracy theories. It's called egg theory. So the base of it is that we are gods, or we are a adolescent god in development, but we're not multiple gods. We are one. So me and you, everybody in the world, we are technically the same person. But the point is that you only become a god once you have lived every human experience. So man, woman, trans, whatever, gay, straight, bi, all that, crippled, disabled, mentally disabled, born with like heart defect and stuff, every type of experience, racist, not racist. And the whole point is that once you've lived every type of experience that there possibly can be, is when you can ascend to godhood. And the ones who put you here are previous gods. And they're trying to create a new one. But first, you have to go through the quote unquote trials of human existence until you can ascend.
Wouldn't that take forever?
Yeah.
Literally? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
You have to live every human life that will ever live. And then you ascend.
But then you're never ascending.
No, you do.
So no, because because the whole like unlimited universe thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that would be if multiverse theory is real.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't
another conspiracy anyway.
But the thing is, to live every human experience is to live every possible decision that a human will make.
Mm.
That means you have to not only have lived every possible decision, but every possible situation with that decision, and every possible situation with that decision, with that possible environment. And then you got to do every possible situation. Like, because there are too many factors in it, for those who don't know how much of multiverse and universe, like unlimited stuff there is, picture you took 2 steps. Okay, right? That's all you did. You took 2 steps just now, right? Let me tell you what happened. In one universe or one possibility, you got ran over by a plane that fell out the sky. Another one, you stubbed your toe. Another one, you stubbed your toe not as hard. Another one, you stubbed your toe so hard that it came off. Another one, you ain't got toes to stub. Another one, you got mini toes. Another one, you got large toes. There's so many toes, right? And just the toe thing alone is hundreds of thousands of possibilities. Just your toes, chat. So imagine the fingers. Imagine the fingers now. Imagine you're missing a rib. Imagine you're missing a tooth. Imagine you got 2 teeth at one time in the same spot. Now you got teethless, right? You got that, right? Your nose plugged up. You got 3 eyebrows, but only 2 eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that is possibility. Hell, Jared, there's possibility just based off your hair follicles. One missing, the other one there, the other one missing, the other one there. 3 of them in one spot, 3 of them in no spots. You know what I'm saying? You cannot, it will go on forever. But I do like it because, technically speaking, right, there is a finite number. It's just too large for us to know. Because there is no actual infinity ever. There is none. It's literally the scientist's way of saying that's too big of a number for us to know. Right? There is nothing that goes to infinity. Nothing at all. Even if you're religious, it ends with God. That's the end point. So it has an end point. You know what I'm saying? Now people are going to talk about, what's his limits? It's like undefined. There's no infinity. It's just we don't have the number because we can't fathom it. That's all. But okay. That's still weird to me. So hold on. So you're saying we're all just that one God?
We're all just different pieces, and at the end, yep. And at the very end, they all come together. And because you have more or less received, you would say you would have received all knowledge, right? Because you've lived every possible type of experience.
Yeah.
And that's why you can then ascend to godhood.
But what's it called again? It's like universal consciousness, right?
Oh, conscious. Yeah. It's no, it's technically not a hive mind because none of the other fractions of the personality are aware of each other.
Mm-hmm.
You only become briefly aware when you're like, say, like I die. That's when I'd be aware, but then you're sent back in, and then it's wiped again. And then every time it's storing, it's taking a little piece every single time.
Okay.
And at the very end, that's when they all come together. And then
see, I do like that theory because one thing I did like think about was I tried to like put all religions together. And one thing I talked about was I believe that you don't go to heaven nor hell, right? Let me not say that. I believe that hell is earth because think about if hell is pain, right? When do you experience pain, Jared? Is when you know what relief is. If you're born, like say you're born and your arm stings, right? Eventually, that's normal. That's not stinging. That's just normal, right? When do you know that it stings though? When it's not stinging, right? So my theory is that we are sent to Earth. You do bad, you start over again until you finally do good. And it all started like thousands of years ago. So that means if your ass is still on Earth right now, your ass has not been a good person for about thousands of years.
So reincarnation, kind of?
Yeah. It's reincarnation, but it's reincarnation in a way where it's like you still have not achieved your goal, right? In regards to peace. Because for all you know, I could have been a thief back in the day, like before this life. I could have been a German soldier during the. You know what I'm saying? I could have. Hey, look! I'm black now, but I could have been Caucasian 50 years ago, right? That's why I feel like low key. I think everybody has to come back, and your goal is to be a better person every single time. And if you fail to do that, you come back again. And because you have deja vu, and you have like dreams where you don't think that's you, and I think that kind of plays into it. You could also say something along the lines of your life restarts every single time too. I don't even look at it as reincarnation. Look at it as your timeline starts all over. For all we know, Jared, this is the 10th me.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like in this way, last life I lived, mind you, same grandparents, same parents, just different decisions. Right? And this time, let's say my difference now is I have a wife and kid. Last time I was a loner. The other time before that, I was probably a murderer. The other time before that, I was probably, you know what I'm saying? Imagine that. Like we are just living our lives on repeat till we get it right. So it's not like I'm an Indian or Native American or anybody from the past. I could be me, just me. But I've been making bad decisions every life cycle. I feel like I'd be more comfortable with that too. I feel like I'd be more comfortable where it's like you yourself are living your life, just different choices every single time you went through it.
And then once you finally make the final right choice, that's when you go to heaven.
That's when you go to
heaven. Paradise or whatever you want to say. Okay, that's interesting. I like that. That's interesting. That's an interesting theory. So basically, it's like your life branches off, but it's just like one of the branches just loops back around because you made the wrong decision. Yeah. Until you make the right decision, then you can progress in your timeline. Yeah.
Like picture, like because you know with the whole religion thing, picture like this is your life.
Right.
Okay. Right. Chat. So you see these loops. Okay, these are the loops, right? Loop. And this is your endpoint. Beginning point, end point, right? Your goal is to get there. And every time you make the wrong decision, you make another loop. Then another loop. Another loop.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Then finally, when you finally make that right decision, you reach your endpoint. That's how I think life would be. That's how I think life might go. Who knows? I don't know because I can't fathom it, but still, like that would be. I think it would make the most sense.
Kind of like in RE0, right? Every time he made the wrong decision, he got killed. Yep. And he had to come back and restart it. Okay,
except he got to learn from it. That's different.
True.
He remembers his deaths. He remembers his. I remember mine, but that's why I feel deja vu comes in. It's like, okay, I clearly probably made a choice that resulted in this thing happening again, and I could make it from noticing that I can make a different choice now than my counterpart did.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I like that. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What else you got?
Let's see. My next one is dark forest theory. So there's two, I believe it's two variations of this. So it bounces around the theory that, like, people always say, well, how come humanity seems to be the only intelligent life that exists? So with the two versions of it, the first reason is because every other sentient civilization that's out there is actually in fear that all the other ones that exist are hostile. So no one wants to reach out first in fear that they will be destroyed or attacked or taken over or enslaved. So that's why no one says anything. That's why you can't find anything, because everyone's hiding and they're aware. The second variation of that is that every intelligent society that exists right now in the universe found out that there is a threat. It's imminent threat. It's not like another. It's like say it's, we'll just call it a world eater, right? If you reach out. So that's why everyone is quiet and no one is making noise. Because if you make noise, it's going to come and it wipes out your civilization. That's also why there's I forget what it was, but they were saying, what do you think the scariest message that humanity could receive from space? And one of the messages is, you need to stop making noise or they'll find you. And you're like, oh, huh? It's like, what do you mean? Like, imagine that. Imagine you working at NASA and it's like, oh my God, we're getting a message from an alien civilization. They will find you if you keep making noise.
Ain't that damn movie? Shit. Damn.
Which I
don't it's the one with the aliens who react to noise, right? Like,
no. Oh, you mean A Quiet Place?
Quiet Place. Yes.
No, that's different. That was they were just unlucky. So with A Quiet Place, what happened was, according to the sort of the background of the movie, the planet that the aliens were originally on blew up like years ago, right? And that fragment that came to Earth was just a part of their destroyed planet, and it just happened to hit Earth. So it could have missed and went somewhere else, but it hit Earth, and we were just cooked because we're not equipped to handle them. Although that movie still has its own, flaws with how they did all that. But no, it's different. So basically, it's like if you like go in the jungle at night. Whenever there's a predator nearby, you're quiet because you don't want them to find you. That's why no one's reaching out in space. You don't want to be found by the predator that's lurking.
I don't give a damn. That is the quiet place, bro. If you look, let's be honest. Okay, let's be honest. Them motherfuckers heard us talk about some damn SpaceX and trying to go to Mars and shit, and they came up to our planet. We already know. Okay, that's why they react to noise. Okay. Shout out to that little boy who decided to play with a toy because his deaf sister gave him a battery. Shout out to him.
But actually, here's the theory about in Quiet Place. So those aliens, bro, they're not predators. They're prey. That's why they're so aggressive. So how they'll say, like in a zoo, they'll say some of the most dangerous animals are actually herbivores because they always have to be ready to like fight off a lion or run.
Yeah.
They're so aggressive because any noise they hear, they might think is a predator. So they kill it and try and get rid of it.
Nah, I ain't believing that. Nope. The reason I'm not is because no matter who the prey and predator is, the prey would never approach the predator.
True.
The prey has defense mechanisms, right? Evolution, blah blah blah. They have defense mechanisms where if the predator sees them or whatever, they either get made aware or they have a way to counter it. But if you're telling me that they can, on instinct, jump the predator by themselves, they the predator. That's the whole reason they the predator. Man, you mean to tell me if my damn cat saw a damn lion and it had that mindset, it goes, let Let me go after him real quick so he don't come after me. Come on, bro.
Well, remember, they do swarm, though.
Yeah, but it must be just one. And you saw how, like, when the little boy, you saw how, like, it long-armed him. He's smack. Like,
yeah, turn him into paste. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I got you one. Okay. This one, I can't say that. I can't say that one. This one is kind of, it kind of has to do with the Illuminati thing. Okay. This is something that we probably like went over as kids. Certain people are in it, certain people aren't. Some people are trying to get into it. For those who don't know, or at least like didn't go through that what's it called, the rabbit hole, right? When you find out about it, basically a lot of times in the 2000s, a lot of songs had a lot of satanic, imagery, right? Devil horns, crazy psychotic asylums, goats, under the underground pentagram, the one eye of Horus, like all that stuff which Jay-Z's famous for. Like, it was a lot going on, bro. And to make matters worse, it was like it got worse over time. It got worse. Like, Kanye started calling himself Jesus. His song "Power," right? No More Man Should Have All That Power had so much subliminal messages in it, and like certain people, you play their records backwards. It's like I'm plays Lucifer about that, and then they go and tell you you're crazy, bro. Like, you look. Look. Oh man, QC's talking about it right now. It's like, you gotta realize either they was playing us or something, but there is no way at all that all that was coincidence. Especially when they talk about blood sacrifices.
That's
that
right.
Certain people didn't get famous or a sudden jump in their catalog or whatever, and then you find out that their loved one was killed prior to that. Right? Like, again, this is conspiracy, right? It's conspiracy theory.
Right.
Aaliyah. Anybody who know Aaliyah, rock the boat, all that stuff. Aaliyah was what Beyonce is right now. That's where Aaliyah was headed. Aaliyah gone, whose career takes off? Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent. 50 fucking Cent. How you get shot 9 times? 9 times. And now you make Power? Now you making BMF? Right? You know what I'm saying? This dude was shot 9 times, chat. He made a movie about it. He didn't make one hit song in 30 years. But he got power? He's a director? What are we talking about? You got Jay-Z. I'll be real with you. Jay-Z hasn't been the number one artist since he existed. He a billionaire? He ranking number one on people's lists. And it's like, all right, tell me his number one song ever. And it has to be, and it's a number 5 song, 6 song, 7 song that came out that same year. Like, people really did talk about, like, some of these people didn't get famous until something controversial happened to them. Okay. I think R. Kelly sold his soul to the devil. Because how you can't read and you writing songs for everybody. You mean to tell me you can't read your own lyrics? Well, you could touchy all these people, but you can't read your own lyrics? Chat, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, bro? Like, like, it really got bad. I used to think like, oh, rock and roll was the devil music, blah, 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 but it was really like 2000s rap had too much subliminal messages, bro. Too much. And then on top of that, here Michael Jackson, right? Last song was They Don't Give a Damn About Us, right? Man talking about exposing the Illuminati, basically. He owned half of Sony Records. He's about to walk away from Sony, and then he ends up dead. Healthy. He's healthy, by the way. And he ends up dead. There is not an unhealthy person that can dance for 24 hours in practice and he dies. Let me know somebody that can moonwalk for 3 hours and they suddenly pass away. Let me know. Let me know. That man was about to go on tour, clear his debts, and walk away with the Beatles, Beyonce, Eminem, all these people. He owned a masters. He about to walk away from. You think Sony was about to allow that? You know what I'm saying? Like
he said, take that man out.
And then he suddenly gets a medication over. Michael Jackson was 50, right? That man, whatever medication he was taking, he always was on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me that 50-year-old Michael Jackson, Mr. He himself, suddenly got an overdose? You think he was preparing for this concert, being Michael Jackson, right? There was no pressure. Ain't no pressure. He's Michael Jackson. This is the same dude that jumped out at the Super Bowl, right? And people fainted. That man look. That boy looked like that. Imagine just jumping on stage and just looking at people. You know, you got the shades on, so it's like this, like this. You like that? He just looking. And your girl fainting. Your mom, your auntie, your uncle, all of them fainting. Some of them had heart attacks just looking at this man. You think that boy had pressure? That man existed and people were losing their lives just from excitement. And now he dead? Bernie Mac. That man ain't had diabetes or none of that his whole career. That man started exposing Hollywood. Now he dead? Mr. Sumba bitch, all that man. You gonna talk about that motherfucker dying. That motherfucker ain't dead. Motherfucker breathing. You think him? Bro, listen. Listen. I still think Illuminati real. I just think they up their price tag. That's all I'm saying. I think now you can't be like a multimillionaire. Now I think it's a billionaires club.
Or it's like right on the merge of being it, and then they'll take you.
Yeah, I think back then, because of the rise of hip hop and R&B, they started letting millionaires in. But now it's a billionaire club. There's a reason why Jay-Z don't smile with millionaires, but every billionaire picture, he's smiling his ass off. He's smiling his ass off. So, shit, do what you will with that information, chat. But that's my biggest conspiracy right now. Go ahead, Jared.
All right. So I'm a throw in because of COVID, because of all the hilarious stuff that happened because of COVID, bro.
Okay.
So, we'll make it a two-parter. So, the first conspiracy was that the whole reason they were trying to force people to get the COVID vaccine was so that they could microchip everybody and track them. But the problem with that theory is, first of all, microchips are not cheap. Okay, no. It's not like you can spend $20 and you be like, "Hey, man, let me get a couple 100 million microchips," and so we're gonna inject them into people. It's like, no, what is it? There's like 350 million people in America. And it's like, you want to track them all, bro? That is the most inefficient way to track people, because you can't force it, right? Like they tried to force it, but you can't really force people to get the vaccine. Secondly, if you're an adult, you got a smartphone. The hell do I need a microchip for? You got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that social media. You got a bank account. You got a social security number. Your information's already out there. They have it. So if they really want to track you down, it's not that hard to do. So it was an interesting theory, but I'm like, this kind of doesn't make sense because they already can do that now. very few people know how to like not be tracked. Actually, like in reality, people are like, oh, you got a VPN. I was like, no, that's not enough. You need more. You need a little bit more than that to make sure they don't track you. But it's like, nah, there's plenty of other ways to actually go about tracking you. The second part to it was that COVID was supposed to cull the population. Like they're trying to like, and I'm like, maybe, but at the same time, like the flu kills more people. So you wouldn't use a less effective method, right? So like if you take out the flu, right? First of all, if you want to cull the population, they don't need to do anything. First of all, our food is doing that enough, bro. You know how many people are diabetic, overweight, have heart failure, all this terrible cholesterol, the crap they put in our food?
Too slow, Jared. That's the point.
Too slow?
They too slow. Slow killers. Watching you bleed.
It's just every time they, every time like every New Year for the formulation for a Big Mac, like, hey, yo, sprinkle a little bit more in the burgers to start taking them out a little bit faster. Or the other fun part of, culling the population is when you go to the airport and go through like the little scan, they're like, they slowly cooking you. They slowly cook you with those too. And I'm like, bro, what? There's so many like funny ways to think of it. It's like how they trying to call the population. It was like fast food. They cook you at the airport. Like, oh, they're poisoning us with the air. I'm like, bro, they breathe the air too, though. Like, you can't just be like dumping toxins in the air. That's not how it really works. Because
people gotta stop looking at the general ones. Like, if they want to, okay, like let's be real. If they wanted to cull the population, they would take a controlled substance, like something where it's like we can do away with these people without worrying about people who can inevitably help society.
Right.
So clearly they don't want to destroy scientists. They don't want to destroy lawyers. They don't want to destroy doctors. They don't want that's too much. So they're not going to do something where those people are at risk. They're going to do something where it's the homeless and poor and everything like that. Those are the ones they're going to go for if we're being honest. Right. But when you look at COVID, it had mostly old people, which you can make the argument that maybe they just was like too many old people on Social Security. Gotta go. Right? No, that's
true.
That's the thing. Oh, too many young people. Gotta go. But now there's a population situation now, though. We're not having replacements for all those people that are passing away.
Yep.
So
see, but like on the other hand, so like for instance, right? Like way back in the day, right? Doctors knew cigarettes killed you. They knew they caused cancer or increase your chances. But they were paid off to say, nah, right? Until like the big court cases happened and they got released, right? So like low key, they could have kept just doing that.
No, so the doctors knew. I remember this. The doctors knew, but the way the cigarette company and the government and everything, it was like if you ask your doctor, does it kill you? The doctor has to tell you the truth. Right? But if the company uses it, they could like this. Cigarettes, right? We know they cause lung cancer.
Right.
But what's the thing say? It may cause lung cancer. Right? Same way you eating sugar, it may cause diabetes. But if you eat too much of that shit, same thing with Advil.
Yep.
It may stop your headache, but if you take too much, it's your last headache. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's shit like that. Oh, shout out to QC as well. QC said, did Trump do the JFK and MLK exposure yet? Listen to me when I say this. Okay. CIA killed Trump, MLK, but they hired somebody to do it. Let me tell you what made MLK dangerous. It's him and Malcolm X. They started seeing eye to eye. That's the issue. Black America was divided. Peaceful protests, aggravated protests. You weren't somebody who met in the middle. You was either one or the other. Malcolm X started to realize that the Muslims that he was at least, encountering were corrupt as shit. And his prophet, right? I'm not trying to. I'm just telling you what I've heard and read. His prophet was going around sleeping with young women, like young women, like young women, right? You know what I'm saying? Young, right? So he didn't agree with a lot of his stuff. And I know Muhammad Ali is everybody's hero, but even Muhammad Ali turned on Malcolm X because of that prophet. So he went to, I believe, the Mecca, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
Like the motherland, basically. And he realized, oh, I've been doing this wrong. And then he reached out to the civil rights leaders that he once criticized. They meshing ideas now. MLK was about, hey, let's all be equal. Malcolm X was about, let's have our own shit. After all that meeting, MLK was like, we can be equal, but y'all need to make sure we good. And we gonna make sure we good. That's how MLK started to come out. MLK started to come more economic with it. Right? We need to supply our own stuff and do this and do that. And then we can talk about equality after. That was so lo and behold, the amount of influence that Martin had, right? Because Malcolm ended up getting killed by his own people. Remember that? He got killed by the Muslims in his thing. And the funny part was that guy who actually killed him, lived until an old age. The people who were arrested for Malcolm X's murder were innocent people. That the said prophet told them that they would take care of their families if they took the rap for the religion, basically for the movement, and they lied. Their families weren't taken care of. Right, so they went to jail for nothing. And Malcolm X's killer ended up living a life being a community leader. And everybody in the community knew he's the one that killed Malcolm X. So that's why you see a lot of people like kind of back off away from the religion, or at least the radical version of it. But with Martin was more influential, not only to black people, but to white people, to Indian people, to Chinese, everybody. Right? While Malcolm was controversial, Martin was influential. So you saw more people following him. That March on Washington, y'all don't realize how many people were actually there, bro. Like that's hold on. I don't think people realize. I don't think people realize how big that was. Imagine, chat. I'm gonna show you, chat. But just imagine, right? It's a black man in the 60s, by the way. Black man in the 60s. I want you. Ready, chat? Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say.
There we go. Chat, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. I don't care about 28. Shut up. But look at this. This was a black man speaking. Right? This is what Martin did. So if he was able to talk to all these people and convince them that black people need to focus on their own economics, guess what that does to white America? Destroys them. So he had to go.
They said 250,000 people.
250,000
showed up at that point in time.
Chat. And these are people who walked there. Right? This isn't people who live down the street. This is people who live in other states, other counties, other big areas in the U.S. And they all was like, we're going to follow that man. So imagine being the U.S. government who already just assassinated JFK, right? Assassinated JFK because he was going for equality. Right? People trying to make it a mob thing. They're like, it's the mob. And no, it's because he wanted equality too. JFK was a young man. He wasn't born watching his family or being part of that lynch mobs and everything like that. He wasn't like that. He was a Massachusetts boy. And around the time in Massachusetts, even though people view it as a racist place, right? Don't get me wrong, it's racist as in people are blatantly racist, right? If you're racist, you're gonna know that person's racist. This wasn't but they didn't go to your house and hang you like that. They didn't like you, but they didn't hurt you in that way of I'm gonna kidnap your family. Down south did that, right? So JFK and people like that, they grew up with a black friend down the street. Their mom may have not liked it, their dad may have not liked it, but they still had it. You get what I'm saying? So when you see him fighting for equality, this is your president. The Cuban Missile Crisis had just been averted, everything like that. He did a great job. And they needed to assassinate him because of that whole equality thing. Because the status quo was black people were lesser than, white people were greater than. If you mess up that status quo, we're coming for you. And they took them all out. JFK, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X. Those are the three names you always hear about when it comes to that era. Muhammad Ali was one of them, but Muhammad Ali, again, because of where his association is more known to be controversial, but he's still one of the, he's still redeemed as the greatest boxer. Outside of that, he's viewed as an activist, especially when his way of countering the Viet Cong War. He literally told the reporters straight up. He said, "They not my enemy. Chinese people are not my enemy. Vietnam, bro, that's not my enemy. White people, you're my enemy." He straight up said that to people. Why would I go over there and kill them and you trying to kill me here? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, it's crazy to think about, man. That's all I'm saying. It's ridiculous to think about. Oh, dang. See, this is what happens when you talk about conspiracies. We already at our hour mark.
Damn.
Yeah. God damn. Oh man, but we love it. See, this is the conversation we love to talk about. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, Jared. You finished off with one more, and I got one more. We're just gonna kind of sum them up, and then we go from there.
All right. My last one. There are currently no more nuclear weapons in the world. The only two functioning ones were made by us when we dropped them on Japan. And since that day, everyone else has just been saying, "Well, I got 50 nukes. Well, we just made 79. Well, we made 100 nukes." So now at this point in time, everyone's just bluffing about having nukes.
Why hold on. So why you think that? Why you think that?
Oh, I don't think that. It was just a conspiracy I was reading. I was like, really though? Because at the same time, so basically, especially now with nuclear weapons, the biggest threat is that if I use mine, you're going to use yours, and we all lose, right? Yeah, that's the big problem with nukes. It's a lose-lose situation. No one wins with nuclear weapons.
Yes.
So once they were used, everyone was just like, well, first of all, they're dumb expensive to make. It's not like this. Once again, resource money-wise, they're dumb expensive to make. And no one else could really find a feasible means to do it. So the easiest way to do it was just lie. It's like, yeah, we got 50 of them. Oh, well, shit, we just restocked it. Now we got 100. Well, prove it. You prove it. Well, I'm not going to show you anything. Well, I'm not going to show you anything. You know what I mean? It's all a big bluff. So no one has to make, or is this the big conspiracy? Which is kind of funny to think about. Imagine this whole time, no one actually has nuclear weapons at this point in time. It's just like, well, how'd you make it the last time? Shit, we lost the paperwork. I don't know, man. The guys who did it died, and someone spilled coffee on the servers, and we lost the info, So everyone just says they have them, but no one actually does. So it's all just a big bluff to try and scare each other into not doing anything or starting any big conflicts.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. That's pretty good. That's some shit, but
it's silly, but it's just funny also to think about. Launch the nukes. We don't have any. What? You imagine you're the president? Launch the nukes. We don't got any.
I think they do. I just think they don't have as much as they say.
Yeah, because then we're like, oh, we got 500,000 missed. No, you don't.
Yeah, stop. I don't think we have nuclear. I do think we do have the hydrogen bombs. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But you can live after a hydrogen. Not you. Let me not say that. You can't live after getting hit by a hydrogen bomb, but it won't have the lingering effects as a nuclear bomb. Nuclear bomb. The reason why it's the way it is and feared is because after you hit something, you cannot live near that area for miles. Like the residual, and mind you, nuclear takes decades, if not centuries, to dissipate.
Mm.
So that's why I think low key, I think we only got one. I think everybody only got one. Everything else is more hydrogen atomic. That's what I think happens. Okay. My last conspiracy is the moon landing. Moon landing, for sure. For sure. You mean to tell me I suffer from lag in my own home with my own router? Okay. But you in 1960, you can get clear ass signal and audio from the moon to here. Right, you can do that. Like one false step for man, one job. That's a lie. Shut up. That's a lie. There ain't no one small step for man. That man walked on his fucking movie set. That's what happened. You see how good the movie set is now? I can see he's in space. It ain't CGI. That nigga in space. Right? No, I think low. And on top of that, where the wind at? Why the flag flowing? Where the wind at? Space got wind now? Where that shit blowing from? The sun? No.
He farted. That's what it was. Gas.
Man. He should have flew. He should have flew with the damn gas, bro. Like, bro, it's 1969, bro. We had just gotten colored television. Okay. There's no such thing as Wi-Fi yet. There's no such thing as internet yet. And you had to switch your antennas. Put some tinfoil on them.
The rabbit ears. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Just to get a signal from the nearby antenna. And you mean to tell me that these motherfuckers had enough technology in that day and age to get a clear picture of the moon and clear audio? Mind you, he didn't even. This is what it should have sounded like. It should have said, "What small man, America." Like that's what it should have sounded like. But he got crystal clear. If I go under a tunnel with my state-of-the-art cell phone, I can't hear you. So how you doing that? How you talking to me on the moon? And then now I see like this science and stuff where it's like you can feel all 8 planets from here to the moon. You mean to tell me Jupiter? You could contact people with the distance of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Mars, all them planets, that distance in 1969? You a damn you lose comms in airplanes at that time, right? You didn't understand. Shit was cracking out. How are you getting a clear picture? You know what I'm saying? How are you getting a clear? We just invented colored television, and you mean to tell me now we got colored television on the moon? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, nah.
That footage was actually crazy though. If you go back and look at when they first switched to color television for news, it was actually really cool. They're like, because I remember the newscaster, he's like, and now he's like, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, we'll be switching the color television in 10, 9. He like counts down. It's like, it's just like, it's just funny because like just never happened before. And everyone's just like, holy shit, this. Also, remember back then too, like if you had a TV, like a big TV, like even though those things weigh like 800 pounds, people were like, damn, bro, you got a TV? Hey, bro, my dad just bought us a color TV. Oh, shit, what? Bro, you made a money? Yeah, bro.
Yo, and no cap, though, every time I think about anything pre-70s, right, like, mind you, that 70s show was in color, right? It was made in, like, 90s, but still. That 70s show was in color. Anything pre-70s, I always automatically picture black and white, and I feel like they do that for a reason. I feel like every time they show you Martin Luther King and all of them, they don't do it in color because they want you to make it feel like it's so long ago that it's unfathomable that they caught the picture of it. So I think they do that on purpose. I think it's a mental thing. Because, all right, watch this, right? Can you picture Jesus walking in the desert right now in color?
Yes and no.
Kinda, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you picture JFK in a board meeting with Fidel Castro in color?
No, not really.
Okay.
Kind of messes with your head.
Okay. See what I'm saying? One was 2,000 years ago. The other one was 70. Oh, man. With that being said, guys, appreciate y'all for tuning in to today's episode, The Conspiracy Theories, man. This was fun. This was fun. Good news, too, on my end, chat. We closing, man. We closing on this house right now, man. So we're gonna see what happens in the next month. You know what I mean? But stay tuned for that. Also, again, we have started our anime show, Code Red Anime. So be sure to look out for the episodes for that. I'm actually going to upload our first episode on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon Music. And then be sure to look out for my Behind the Shade. That's a solo show, but it's more about getting to know everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a dive deep into the mindset of people and everything. So with that being said, guys, we love y'all. Wish y'all nothing but the best. Thank you guys for supporting us all this time. And yeah, Jay, you got anything to say for the peoples?
Wash your feet. Wash your feet. Just because you shower up here and the soap and bubbles go down there doesn't mean it's getting clean. Wash your feet. Your feet stink. Scrub that shit. In between your toes, too. Wash your feet. I don't use a wash rack. You're nasty. Scrub your body. Clean yourself.
You hear that, chat? Have a good one.